Good sanitary practices and keeping chickens in a sunny, dry area will reduce the risk of infection. Learn more about chicken parasites at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
Today's Daily Encouragement by William the Encourager, sponsored by Ted Russell Nissan, home of the lifetime warranty on Kingston Pike.
Praise the Lord, my brothers and sisters. This is William the Encourager. Come on, let's pray. Father God, we thank you for your word today. And Lord, we ask that you would just bless us, Lord. Bless the hearers of this word, Lord. Let something golden come out of these lips of clay, that someone would be encouraged today. It is in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. Praise ye the Lord, my brothers and sisters. I want to talk to you briefly and encourage you today in Psalms chapter 46 in verse number 10 that says, be still and know that I am God. And verse 11 that says, I will be exalted in the earth. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. I want you to know, my brothers and sisters, that God is your refuge today. And he asks us to be still. Be still. Be still is not just about a physical silence, but spiritual surrender. It means not striving, not panicking. Stop fighting in your own strength. Rest in God's power. Know that I am God is not a suggestion, but a command, my brothers and sisters. Knowing is deeper than information. It is confidence, trust, and intimacy with God. I will be exalted among the nations. The earth shows that God is sovereign over politics, wars, chaos, and storms. Even when the world looks like it's falling apart, God's glory will be revealed. Let me give you a quick analogy of that, brothers and sisters. Take a traffic jam. When stuck in traffic, honking and swerving won't help. Waiting patiently eventually gets you there. God says, stop honking and stop swerving. I control the road. Listen at what God is saying. Let me give you another analogy of a storm and an anchor. A ship in stormy seas must drop anchor. Being still is dropping our anchor in Christ so we don't drift. One more analogy, brothers and sisters. The doctor's chair. A patient doesn't do surgery on himself. He sits still and let the doctor heal him. God tells us, sit still. I am the healer. Let me give you a scripture that will nail this down and bring it closer to home. Exodus 14:14. The Lord will fight for you, and you shall hold your peace. When we stop all the things that we are doing, trying to change what it is that we're doing, then we can be still and know that God is God. For without him, we can do nothing. He is our strength. Let me tell you of a story about Moses and the Red Sea, which you know about Exodus 14. The people panicked, and God said, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. My brothers and sisters, no matter what you are going through today, be still and know that he is God, and he will fight your battles for you. We have to learn the objective of this lesson is to understand that God calls us to rest in his strength, not in our own, and to learn practical ways to trust him. God is our refuge and strength, and in stillness we discover his power and his peace. You can apply this so easily to your life. We can apply this scripture in daily life by stopping in the middle of our stress or fear, taking a deep breath and saying, God, I trust you, instead of rushing to fix everything ourselves. My brothers and sisters, we need to hear God when he says, be still and know that I am God. Now remember, there is a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Hey, it is, I started to say it's a third Wednesday. Kind of.
Sort of close.
Sort of close. Anderson County Sheriff Russell Barker joining us here today. We all with fall break and everything kind of having to reschedule, but thank you for rescheduling, Russell. I appreciate it. I know you're out of town, I'm out of town, and now we got everything situated. So how are you, buddy?
Everything's good.
Good.
Yeah, everything's good.
That's always good news to start off with. Everything's good, right?
Yeah, I mean, lots going on. Busy time of year for us.
What all do you have going on?
Just a lot of Greg McBroom, my director of community relations.
Mm-hmm.
The poor guy don't get a weekend anymore.
He's out all the time.
All the trunk or treat stuff that happens.
Yeah.
He just spent a couple of days at the Little Ponderosa, and they have thousands upon thousands come through there.
Yep.
So we've got all those events, and then, of course, just the holiday season October kind of kicks that off to a degree.
You guys do your shop with not shop with a cop, shop with a policeman.
Shopping with the sheriff.
Shopping with the sheriff. Got that coming up. There you go.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Yeah, that'd be I think it's December 13th. Is what we scheduled with TJ Maxx.
I know I've asked you this before, but how do people become eligible to do that? Do you guys identify them, or do they?
We do. So we primarily count on our SROs for that. And what we do is we also work with other organizations to make sure we're not duplicating services.
Gotcha.
For certain kids. We really enjoy it. We enjoy our partnership with TJ Maxx simply because they've got some toys and stuff, but we really look for the kids that need clothing, honestly.
Yeah, need the staples.
Yeah, and so and it works out real well. We get a lot of community partnerships, and then we have our own fundraising that we do. So
cool.
But that's always a really good time.
Things amp up when we get to the holidays. I mean, like with Halloween, I know you guys keep everybody safe, and Thanksgiving, Christmas. I know Christmas, tell people not to leave stuff in their car, et cetera, et cetera. But,
I mean, as far as from primarily, you see we talk a lot about safety, like Halloween. We recommend that you trick-or-treat in groups if you're not going to be at a trunk-or-treat type environment. If you're going to be going to a neighborhood like your neighborhood will get wore out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we ask that.
I'm going to be Superman, evidently.
Yeah.
I just got the text that I'm going to be Superman. So there you go.
Yeah. So, but we recommend, the kids stay in groups. Of course, you never enter in someone's house if you're invited.
No.
And have something reflective, hopefully,
Oh, yeah.
Trick-or-treat bag, your costume, something. because there's a lot of heavy traffic out too, and we ask drivers to take extra precaution. Of course, the common things of, don't have you a few toddies before you take your kids out trick or treat.
You might not want to do that. Huh?
Yeah, and
darn, Russell, you take the fun out of it.
And then for the don't go to houses that aren't lit. And of course, we'll have a group out. Keep an eye on our sex offenders, make sure they're in compliance.
Okay.
And we'll have, and then if you're hosting trick-or-treaters, just make sure your house is well lit, and you don't leave, if you get out there and sling your mulch, to tighten it up a little bit, because you're going to be having a lot of people stop by. Don't leave your tools out there. Just common sense type stuff. But we'll see a lot of that, and then from a crime standpoint, we'll see the holidays. We just see a spike in domestics because you're around family members that you probably aren't
talking politics with.
Yeah, politics, religion, and then we do see thefts go up. Primarily retail thefts.
Yeah.
This time of year, but we do have. It's not beyond the realm of possibilities and burglaries, depending on who's out there doing what. Primarily, the spike is in retail theft and our famous porch pirates.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll keep everybody safe this Halloween and moving into Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's hard to believe we're sitting here talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas already in a fashion. I mean, it's just right here upon us. Seems like
this year's flown by.
It has flown by.
Yeah.
Is it because we're getting older or more busy? I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, it seems like it was just March.
I was telling Tracy, it was like Saturday. I got up early Saturday. James David and I turned on, watched Game Day and goofing off, and then it turned around, and all of a sudden it's like time for the football game Saturday night. It's like, where did the day? It seems like, I don't know. It just seems like time's passing quicker, or we stay busy, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway. What's going on with the Anderson County Sheriff's Department right now you want folks to know about? Or just things that you got that folks might be curious about?
So our resolution last night at County Commission for our work release, that program is doing really well. We're at 7 currently. And one of the really cool things is we had a guy that had about $1,200 in fines he owed the county, and through the work release program, he's paid that off.
Oh, wow!
So
I didn't realize that could go toward that.
Yeah, we made it part of the program.
Well, that's awesome.
So
is that unique to us in this county, or do other people do it?
I would imagine other people do it, but it was one of the things, because if we're going to take a chance on, if we're really looking at rehabilitation, right?
Yeah.
One, we have these classes that we require before you're even eligible to be considered. But once you go to and you get accepted into it and go to work, when you get your checks, we're paying back child support, we're paying court costs and fines, and because we want you whole when you get out, right?
Yeah.
Because lots of times what we see is you leave jail and you owe these things.
You don't have your child support up to date, so you don't have a driver's license. And so immediately, if you get pulled over, you're coming back. Yeah, that's something that I wish we could get a handle on, because it seems to encourage a rotation, because you get in there and you accumulate fees and fines, rightfully so, I guess.
Sure.
But you don't have a way to generate revenue to pay these fees and fines. So you get out, and day one, you're on the upside down of it. You know what I mean?
You're walking to try to find a job. And then, and most aren't. Most are driving.
Sure.
While suspended, and on thing it takes is.
Yeah, you get pulled over for a stop sign. Yeah.
The officer recognizes you because he knows you don't have a driver's license.
Yep.
And then you just add to it, and but the ultimate goal is if you're in there long enough and you can pay these things off, ideally you get some money saved up too, to where you can obtain housing. Now, why is that important, right? We don't want to send these guys and girls back to the environment that produced them.
Yeah.
And
back to the drug house or whatever it was.
I mean, and it's giving them a puncher's chance.
How much money can they earn? I mean, is it an hourly wage?
Yeah, they make hourly wage. They work full time.
Okay.
40 hours a week.
Who pays that wage? Does
the employer?
Wow. And so does it differ by the employer?
Well, currently we're only in partnership with one, right? Okay. And we really looked around, and it was perfect for a pilot program for us, in the sense that it's a manufacturing company, right? And the reason it works so well with us is the hours they're open.
Okay.
6 to 2:30. You know, so we can get them over there, and we get them picked up, right?
Yeah.
Weekends off. That, you know,
that's cool.
And we're not running a bunch of different directions.
Sure.
And we didn't know we didn't know how successful it was going to be, because, you know, these girls are over there with ankle monitors, right, that they have to pay for.
Yeah.
And they've got certain rules. Now, we've went to it's still a uniform, but they blend in. Like,
okay.
You
it's not a bright orange standard.
Yeah. if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But if the average person, if say a potential client walked through their facility, they would never look and say, that guy's an inmate. You know?
Sure.
But and we've heard some just incredible stories already. One of the managers over there told us that for the first time in a long time, they hit production numbers.
Having the help of the inmates.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So that's a win-win-win all the way around. It's a win for us as taxpayers, because they're bettering themselves, paying their fine, their what they owe. Good for the employer, because he's getting folks that, if you don't work, you're going back to jail, so you might as well be there and work and make money.
Yeah.
And then for the inmate.
And so they pledged to us, to the participants in the program, that if you're a good employee, when you flatten, you have a job. Wow. You don't miss a beat. You get released on a Saturday because you flattened your time. You better show back up at work on Monday because you're still employed here.
That's great, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of folks, when you get out from being incarcerated, even if it's for something minor, it carries a stigmatism with it.
100%.
And it's hard to get. You know what I mean? It's just
and we just want to. And lots of these folks are just came up in tough environments, haven't had a lot of encouragement, and we want to show them that there is another way. But now the benefit to the employer is, if it's a bad fit, they ain't got to worry about HR. All right? They just tell us.
Bert ain't working out.
Yeah, and another thing that I joked with them about when I was meeting with them, me and my staff were meeting with them. Hey, if they call in sick, they're sick. It's not mama or girlfriend calling in and say
they're sick.
Bobby won't be in today. He's not feeling good. No, he's sick.
That's a great program.
It's been years in the making. We've been really working on it for a long time. Yeah. A lot of hoops to jump through.
Is there state hoops and stuff like that too?
Yeah, there's the logistics of handling all this money, right?
So it comes to you, and then you distribute it to them?
Yeah, so basically they get paid. We have accounts set up, right?
Yeah.
Work release program accounts. And so we've had a workhouse status in Anderson County for years.
Yeah.
Prior to me even being here. And I remember in 2018, I asked, as the previous administration was leaving, so we have this workhouse status, but we don't do anything with it. And they said, because virtually nobody has a job that comes to our jail, right?
Yeah.
And so the purpose of it originally was Ron gets charged, but
I can come back.
But Ron gets to get out, he just sleeps there, but he comes to work, and And that way you're still generating income, paying your fines, and kind of paying your own way through some of this.
Sure.
But the model changed because it didn't happen. Of course, with the shortage of employees for employers, it just made sense. And years ago, we had people asking us for this, particularly during COVID.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't, the timing wasn't right for us. And plus, it took me a hot minute to warm up to it because there's a little bit of liability for me.
Sure.
And for the county.
If somebody gets out and gets away, hurts somebody, does something.
So we really concentrated on, we looked at some other programs and how they vetted inmates and how they went about it. And the ironic part is too that, like, you have to be convicted because if you're just sitting in there waiting to go to trial,
you don't qualify.
Yeah, because
you're not innocent. You're still innocent.
You're
really.
Still innocent. Yeah. So you have the opportunity to make bond, and so every single one of these are not technically, they are state inmates.
Oh.
And that was something else because the state has we've seen our state population grow, and it's a pretty good topic across the state for all sheriffs, right? We've kind of embraced it because it's not in the sense of state Tennessee's not building any more prisons, right?
Yeah.
So they're leaving people to serve their time in county jails, right? And so that's why the Tier 1 and Tier 2 designations has increased our funding.
Gotcha.
Because we hit those milestones, so the state pays us more than they pay other jails.
Let me take a break and see who's called. This is like the 15th time they've called. Let me see. Because obviously, it's not someone that listens to us, so I'm really not that inclined to stop, but we will. Hang on.
Party Five here with some big news. Not just big news, this is really big news. The senior benefits team at Madison Insurance Group has a whole website that talks about nothing but Medicare. It's straighttalkmedicare.com, folks. If you have questions about Medicare, just nip it right in the bud. Visit straighttalkmedicare.com or call the senior benefits team at Madison Insurance Group at 865-425-7300. Tell them Barney sent you.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and Shylock's Pawn is giving away a complete Thanksgiving dinner or Thanksgiving turkey. When you visit Shylock's, be sure and register for the drawing to be held November 14th. You can register as often as you like, but only once per day. You have to be 18 or older, and you don't have to be present to win. No purchase necessary. They'll do the drawing November 14th, so go by Shylock's and register today. Shylock's Pawn, 1204 Clinch Avenue in Clinton, 865-457-2960. And remember, if you need money, Shylock's has cash for you.
It's football time in Tennessee, and Hammers Dry Goods is stocked up with game day clothing for the whole family. We're also receiving new shipments of clothing every day for hiking, fishing, and outdoor fun. Ladies and girls boutique fashions are 25% off Hammers' regular low marked prices. Check out our huge inventory of ladies boutique style shoes and boots at discount prices. Come and see our complete fall lineup of ladies fashion goods and accessories from Simply Southern. Check from a special purchase of comfort color sweatshirts and long sleeve tees at Hammers' low prices. Choose from our largest inventory ever of Wrangler, ATG, hiking, and work pants. We also have stacks upon stacks of famous brand men's boots for $99. Visit Hammers Facebook and Instagram for daily deals and new items. Come see us at our new location in the Big Brick Building right across from Anderson County High School, or visit our other locations, Sevierville, Wartburg, Halls, and New Tassel. If you miss a day, you miss a bargain.
Haven't been to Hammers, you should see us now.
All right, we're back in the New York Groove with Sheriff Russell Barker here this morning. We're talking about it's not a release. Is it a release? Is it called work release?
It's called work release. So if you're accepted to the program, we send you. We have a van. You have to wear an ankle monitor, even at the jail, because it charges from their bunk. And we drive you over in the morning, drop you off, and you work a full day, and then we'd go pick you up, bring you back.
Do we monetize as far as, like, do you charge them to take them and drop them off? Is there a fee that we do. Recoup so it's not a cost? Okay.
Yeah. We charge them a fee to manage their lives, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're good with it.
Well, yeah.
Because
the alternative is sitting in a cell.
Yeah. Just killing time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, at least this way you're making progress.
But yeah, so we are we're super excited about it.
Are there other counties do it, Russell, or are we first?
I'm not aware of any here in East Tennessee.
So we might be
but middle Tennessee for sure, because we went and visited a few.
Okay.
Chief Allen and his staff have put a lot of time into it. It was Chief Allen's baby. I mean, he wanted to do it for years. He pitched it even to the previous administration, right?
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah. And then so.
Well, it's kind of a big undertaking when you look at all of it. You know what I mean?
It is a lot of.
Not that you ain't got a lot to do already.
Yeah. It's a lot of coordinating with courts and of course, honestly, the advances in technology with ankle monitoring and stuff. It's much more reliable than it has been in the past. Just in the 7 years I've been the sheriff, it's really advanced.
So you're doing this, and they're footing the bill for going and coming, and the wherewithal that takes to get them there. Plus, they're accumulating maybe some revenue toward their debts and penalties. Do you guys just pay it like when it comes in?
Yeah.
Do they get to decide what happens with it?
So we have a sergeant that's over it.
Yeah.
That oversees the program, and they basically payday hits, right?
Yeah.
They go in, and we have a formula that we go in, and this I don't know, but I'm assuming it could be different.
Yeah.
Depending on what all you owe, right?
Yeah.
You owe court cost only or court cost and child support. But there's a formula where you send in, and it's all electronically, right? And then they have a certain amount of money that they can put on their books, so they can get some stuff from commissary if they choose to, and we do things too, like we've allowed them to pool their money together, the inmates, right?
Yeah,
and they can basically get groceries for their lunches.
Oh,
right. So that they can.
That's kind of cool.
So instead of eating from vending machines over there at the company, which they provide, it's more than just vending machines. It's those sandwich vending machines too. They can basically pack their own lunch, and it's not through our kitchen at the jail.
They buy their own stuff.
They buy their own stuff. Yeah. So there's again, we're talking about 7 people right now, but it's still cost savings.
And how new is the program?
Just a couple months old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to kind of weigh it out here.
Yeah. So the guy, so as we were learning, and this is just the truth, the guy was telling about, he owed $1,200 in court costs as we were learning the system and how it was going to work. They accidentally, right? Like we didn't intend to pay his $1,200 off, right?
Sure.
But it's what happened. And we were like, ugh. So Rex had his hands on $1,200. We weren't going to be able to get that back from Rex, right?
No.
So we went.
Man can make Lincoln scream the way he squeezes a penny.
And so we go tell him, hey, look, we did this, and it was an oversight on our part. And man, he was thrilled.
Really?
He got it over with, right? I mean, like, he was like, "No, I'm good with it because I don't owe anything now. I'm done. Savings now."
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So it was really cool. And again, it's to reduce recidivism, and we're super picky. And in the first 4, we started out with just 4. I sat them down, had a little meeting with them, and explained that you blow this, man.
Done.
Yeah, I mean, I promise you four go over there and embarrass us or cause us more problems. Not only are we going to shut the program down, and we're going to tell everybody why we shut it down.
Make examples.
If we have 150 state inmates and the state comes looking for 146, guess which four don't get to go? You four. You will stay here with me through your entire sentence.
Oh, wow.
But it's really cool, and so far, and look, we're seeing a difference in their behavior too currently, right?
Well, it kind of gives them a little bit of reason to behave. You know what I mean? To be able to do it, to get your life back on track. Because normally that's just a pause in everything, and you come out. Again, I'm going to say come out worse than you went in. You certainly do if you had a job and you lost it. You know what I mean? Get behind on child support, you come out in a hole.
Well, two, they're in a special housing unit, right? So you get away from all the drama that goes on in the back too.
Oh, wow.
For the guys that are not trying to improve, who are just hustling
Wasting
through
time.
that little world, right? Running scams, seeing what kind of mischief they can get into, right? They don't have to put up with that.
Yeah.
So there's some real incentive there.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
So it's kind of innovative on this side of the state then.
Chief Allen could tell us.
Still, that's
but it's but I'm pretty sure that that we have that we're the only ones in East Tennessee.
You know, here a while back, you weren't able to be here, and you sent in some of the deputies, and we were talking about some of the programs that you guys had installed there for the inmates, like learning. I think it was GED. There were some programs going on. There was a ton of. How is that going? Because when they were here, it was just kind of getting off the ground, and there wasn't a lot of data.
So it's growing. So Lucretia Logan is our director of programs, right? Yes. So we secured some grants. That's one thing we probably don't share enough information about with the public, but if it's a grant, particularly a non-matching grant, we grab them.
Yeah.
So
who does that? Who does that inside of the
it
department?
Just depends on what the grant's for.
Okay.
Lucretia writes them. Captain Owens writes a bunch of them for us.
Okay.
Chief Allen has wrote some. So I think last year, maybe the year before, we did about $3 million
in grants. On top of your funding. That's fantastic.
Yes. Well, we always return. We're pulling the numbers now, but we're good stewards.
You give money back to the general fund every year?
We do, yeah. We do. As a matter of fact, we look for really innovative ways to pay for things too. We want to make sure that, just recently, right? We were borrowing this tractor. We had this. Okay, so Solid Waste has this tractor, right? And we mow. The inmates do some mowing for them, and but the tractor gets to stay with us at the jail. Well, they needed it back, and we don't really have a use for a tractor per se at the jail, but we were using it to pull trailers around to haul, whether it be bunks or whatever, right?
Sure.
Whatever we're doing, and so we look, and so recently that they got their tractor. Well, we still needed something to pull these trailers, right? So we just recently bought a side-by-side, right?
Yeah.
Now, this thing is brand new, and we paid for it through our commissary fund, right? So the inmates, when they order commissary, a pinch of that comes off into a fund. Now, the state says we can only spend it if it benefits the inmates, right? Well, this qualified, and so that was $20,000 that we didn't have to find in our budget, or we didn't have to go ask county commission for.
Sure.
Because the benefit is it's simple.
Well, yeah, you can you can pull stuff instead of carrying it. Instead of making 40 trips, you can load it on the trailer and pull it.
So we're excited about things like that. We're always looking, but from a reducing recidivism standpoint, our programs is just off the chain. Lucretia took over for Mary Ann Young, and she's just killed it and really has grown that program. We now have 2 full-time people in addition to Lucretia.
Oh, that's great.
In programs. And of course they came in on grants.
Sure. But folks don't understand. They don't know. I mean, policing is a lot different than policing used to be back in the day. And you're almost psychiatrist and doctor and everything else, not just to people out in the public, but in the jail too.
So I was reading this report late last night, right before bed. We do this classification meeting at the jail, and they send me the report. And what really stood out was, and it's basically like, hey, so and so's here, he's a sex offender. We had put him in PC, gives you the breakdown. This guy was taken off the 2-deputy rule, because we have certain inmates that you don't move throughout the facility unless they've got 2 deputies because they're violent.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
Most amazing thing that stood out to me in that report was there was probably 10 on that report that said EDP, no issues. EDP is short for emotionally disturbed person. So we had 10 people on this report and classification who have diagnosed mental health issues. And I'm thinking, they're in my facility. It's not where they need to be. And one of them was just returned from Moccasin Bend, right?
Which that's Chattanooga.
Yeah. So it just really
how do you
brought home.
We don't have a place for that, though, do we?
No. Moccasin Bend Peninsula has a bed every now and again.
So when they come back here, if they still have issues, how do you...
We deal with it.
Just the best way you can?
Yeah, 100%. And it's tough sometimes to... particularly if they're new to the facility and not in the sense of never been there before, but their first few days, and our nurses and our mental health nurse, they come in and they do assessments, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have to weed through any substance abuse that may have occurred prior to their arrest, right? So are they crazy or are they high?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
Because lots of times they look just alike.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Yeah, and so but once you get through that, and you've been with us, particularly once you get through, 14 days, you end up seeing, you get a better grip on their mental health. And of course, we partner with Ridgeview, but it's a lot. And our operations has some training on the streets, but corrections, it's really heavy because they're in there with them, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just the things I've seen are just simply amazing. I mean, like the level of issues they're having. Like they don't really understand where they're at. Okay, so there's this one in particular.
All right.
That is, by all accounts, was a fabulous dude. Right.
Good guy.
Yeah, but he's become schizophrenic. Without a doubt, his schizophrenia caused crimes. Right. Because he believed people were being cloned. I mean, it was just a lot. Right.
Yeah.
So he ends up, and as a matter of fact, he has yet to stand trial for his crimes because of his mental health, because he left and spent years at Moccasin Bend. Right.
Okay.
So he comes back after years at Moccasin Bend. Like, I was stunned the day he came back. Right.
That they let him come back?
Yeah. And by all accounts, he was normal, but of course he quits taking his medicine because he doesn't need it anymore, and blah, blah, blah.
And when that happens, you start over.
So he's back in our jail. All right. On some new charges, right? So he never even gets to address his old ones, right?
Sure.
But this guy, so he and here's the thing. Not a violent bone in his body, but when he does get violent, it's a lot.
Really?
Like he's got hands.
Really?
Like the dude can fight. Okay.
Yeah.
But he was not one of these guys that we dealt with because he fought. He never fought anybody. But with schizophrenia, when he gets angry and he decides he's fighting, you better bring a lot of help.
Katie bar the door.
Yeah. So he's down there, and they've got him segregated because he gets into a fight with another inmate, right? And we've got him in a wing that is for it's a medical wing. So it could be in there for various reasons, but it also includes mental health. So I go in there and I have him pop the door. Well, CO's freak because they didn't know I had this history with the guy, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, you can't go in there by yourself. I said, I promise I'm comfortable with him, right? And they're like, I don't know about that, right? So I'm talking to him. He's having a really good day, and we're talking. But this guy is he was not taking his meds for us. And he believed that we were trying to poison him, right?
Yeah.
So I had to go in there and assure him that I will personally look at your meds.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, will you take them for me if I tell you they are what they're supposed to be? He said yes. So we went to the extra option normally you get it in a cup.
Yeah.
Right. And the nurse watched you take them. Well, we were individually wrapping these things so that he would be comfortable.
Knowing each pill was
what we said it was, right? And we ended up.
Did you ever think as a law enforcement officer you'd be wrapping pills for pain?
No.
I mean, again, I'm just talking about the breadth and width it's become to be in law enforcement.
And one of the things that we did was at some point he believed Weston Hazelhurst was Weston
ball player, Optimus League, former city police officer.
He believed Austin
Powell.
No, him and Weston.
Okay.
They were all friends and had played a lot of sports together.
Yeah.
And he believed that in his psychosis that he believed that Weston had been sent down from heaven because he had a lot of
well, Weston does a lot of good work.
Religious. He had a lot of religious ties
upbringing.
Into his. No, well, maybe, but he got into when he was suffering this schizophrenia and it was undiagnosed and untreated. He was going to the Bible, right?
Yeah,
and so it got kind of twisted in there, right?
Sure.
And but he believed so. Like one day when he particularly wasn't taking his meds, and I couldn't convince him to take his meds, I called Weston and put him on the phone with him.
Oh wow!
And Weston talked to him and said, "Hey, look,
take your meds.
We got you. We're good. You need to do this." It's really tragic because he's.
It is tragic, and it's tragic, and I commend you for doing it. But I could see where it'd be really easy to lose your patience. You know what I mean? Having to go. That's not just over and above paying a little bit of attention. That's a lot of focus on one person that you all have to do.
Well, look, it's about what's supposed to fish in, right?
Sure.
So
at the end of the day, it's easier to do that than to deal with the repercussions.
Yeah. So in this particular case, I had the connection.
Yeah.
But every day down there, we have inmates who are more. They may hate my guts, but there's a particular CO or a particular road guy that they've had some kind of interaction with that was positive, and that's who they will talk to, right?
Sure.
That's not uncommon at all because I can't tell you how many inmates that have told me, hey, I did something really stupid one time, and this deputy of yours, he showed up on scene, and And I think he's the only good one you got. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they'll say things like that. So we make sure that we take note, particularly with the mentally ill.
Sure.
But even sometimes with the real hard, just the mean ones, you take note and go, hey, Ron's got a connection with this guy.
Well, I mean, that's whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, because
I mean, you're trying to get them from point A to point B and better them.
Well, we want to, not just that, but we want to keep our staff safe. We want to keep them safe.
Absolutely.
So you make sure you're aware of those relationships.
A couple of things I want to switch gears on you. This weekend, with the No Kings rally across the country.
Yeah.
Basically looked like the We Hate ICE. It was all those same people that are trying to, harm ICE agents and all this other stuff. It seems like they're all the same. I can't tell the difference between Antifa and somebody in Oak Ridge holding the No Kings sign. They all seem the same to me. They all believe the same kind of anti-American BS, if you ask me. But has that affected in any? We didn't have anything here in Clinton that I knew of. Of course, in Oak Ridge or maybe Norris,
Yeah,
but
those two are more left-leaning.
Yes,
municipalities.
But looking at that, just the environment, just what it seems to be creating across the country. We went through the defund the police, right?
Right.
And that didn't work. And so now it's kind of like they've taken all that angst that they had against police, which there's still a lot of problems with that, but they've turned it and focused it on ICE. And just from a law enforcement perspective, the ICE guys are saying we're wearing masks because you guys are doxing us. They've threatened their kids to be killed. There's all kinds of stuff going on. But just from a law enforcement perspective, you don't have to deal with it here, but you are over the State Sheriff's Association.
Yes.
And I guarantee Memphis and Nashville have a bunch of these crazy idiots down there. So from your perspective, how do we deal with that? And what in the world is causing people out there to believe that our ICE men and women are doing wrong, calling them Nazis and everything else, when the very people that are accusing them, Chuck Schumer and these other people, are the ones that made the congressional legislation and Senate legislation that they then charged these men and women to go and carry out. And now that they're going and carrying out this stuff, they're calling them, Hitler,
criminals,
Nazi, everything in the world. I don't understand how anybody can be that ignorant that you've literally got somebody that wrote the law standing up criticizing the men and the women that are carrying it out, and these people are dumb enough sheep to follow that. It blows my mind. My kids are smarter than that. I mean, you might not believe that ICE is a good thing, but you don't reprimand them for doing the job that the federal government legislated in law for them to do. They would be breaking the law not to do the job. And so here you've got some red-headed man that says he's a woman without half his teeth walking around wanting to harm them, and because they say that they're committing crimes against illegal aliens or whatever.
Right.
Just from your perspective, I'm a state sheriff.
So there's not a lot that you can do. Part of it is what comes with freedom, right?
Yeah, but where does protest turn into violence and freedom? I mean, does throwing something at a police officer, is that?
Yeah. So during the BLM era, right? Yeah. When it was at its height, Oak Ridge had a rally, and that same group come out to Clinton to do one.
Uh-huh. Oh, I remember.
And my stance was super clear. I conveyed it to Mayor Frank, Mayor of Oak Ridge, City Manager of Oak Ridge, City Manager of Clinton, all of them, right? The Sheriff's Office will support you in whatever you need to keep these things peaceful, right? Mm-hmm. From a personnel standpoint or whatever, but make zero mistakes that when the STAR's there, the Anderson County Sheriff's Department's there, if anybody throws anything or breaks anything, they go to jail.
Good.
Period. Now, Clinton, we sat in on that meeting on the front end, and we laid down, Chief Becker and I laid down some some ground rules, right? Have all the signs you want, right? No foul language. You're not putting them on a post of any kind. You can hold them, but we ain't bring no sticks. Because in case somebody wants to get ignorant.
Swing a stick. Yeah.
Somebody wants to get ignorant, they're not going to take their cardboard sign off them and have a ready-made weapon.
Sure.
And we flat told them, period. You get out of line.
You're going to jail.
You're going to jail. And that's what you have to do.
But it was peaceful. We didn't have a lot of problem, did we?
We had zero.
Yeah.
We had zero at the event itself. Yeah.
Do you count that in so much as you're dealing with local leaders that understand the same way you understand, as opposed to some of the leaders in the more liberal, like in Portland? They almost commend these people for the damage they're doing. And how is it that normal Americans, just normal Americans, take all the politics out of it? You burn down a police station. I mean, how do you justify that and go,
yeah.
Way go,
Yeah, I think you said they hate America, and I don't know what it is they want.
I know, but when they dial 911, they have a whole different you know what I mean? They got a whole different perspective when their kids, hurt or something. Oh boy, then the police got to get there quick.
I don't know. So the protest in and of itself,
I wish they'd pack up and go to Canada. Swear to God. We could.
If you want to do that, do it. I got better things to do on my Saturdays. But it's just. But at the end of the day, from a law enforcement perspective, and I get it when you're serving these. We talked about Oak Ridge and Norris, who are more left-leaning, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that doesn't. If officer discretion is legitimate and real, right?
Sure.
And it's needed.
And it should, it is needed.
We just talked about yesterday, me and one of my guys, we talked about letter of the law versus spirit of the law, right?
Okay, yeah.
And but when you've got protests and they start vandalizing government property or personal property, right?
Yeah. Burn a Tesla.
We're not doing that.
No, shut it down. And I think if others would just shut it down immediately, it would curb the rest of it, as opposed to let's let them work it out of their system and do $40 million worth of damage.
The things that we see out west in those major cities, they had that no-go zone for a long time, that 1 year.
Yeah, but that stuff travels east, Russell. I've watched drugs do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Listen, they've decriminalized marijuana in Davidson County, right? I would have never thought that was going to happen, right? But
go to Nashville and get high.
Yeah, so it's
jeez.
You're exactly right, but listen, man, I just don't think here in Appalachia that's ever going to fly.
I'll tell you the truth. I know it just like you know it, but take me back 20 years and I would have bet you wouldn't have saw it in Nashville. Memphis maybe, but I didn't see Nashville turn as liberal as it has. I remember one time I was talking to Big D and Bubba, who used to do our morning show over on Merle. And this has been, Merle next year will be 20 years old. 2026 is 20 years since I launched it. So we're going back 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
And I remember I was talking to the guys that are doing our morning show, and we were talking about a country music artist, Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
And I said something, and they were like, oh, my gosh, you wouldn't believe how liberal he and his wife are. And I said, no, I wouldn't. And then they began to tell me, and it's uber liberal. I was just like, wow. And they get along with everybody here in Nashville, and they were like, oh, Nashville is extremely liberal. And I was like, no, it's not. They go, oh yeah, it is. You just don't know it. You just don't hear a lot about it. And now since then, we've heard all about it. We've had a trans shoot up a school down there, and they literally tried to hide the report from us forever.
Yeah.
As liberal lawmakers doing that. And so it worries me sometimes, because that stuff travels west or east from out there.
Which is bizarre that the city of Nashville is so liberal, but yet your state senators and legislators, we have supermajority.
Yeah.
And Republican governors. So it's weird how
it has a whole lot to do with the music industry. I think we're getting philosophical here now, but I'll tell you something. I think once you reach a certain level of income where you're okay, and your family and maybe your kids, grandkids are okay, because we're talking about artists that have generational wealth.
Yes.
At that point, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You're going to take care of your tribe. Your tribe's going to be okay. And so I think that a lot of times common sense goes out the window in some of the things that they think, because they've made what they want to make. They've done what they want to do. They're secure. It doesn't matter what happens around them, you know what I mean? Because they've built their fortune or what have you. It just seems to me, if you pay attention, you've got two groups that are liberals. The absolute poorest of the poor followers that don't have jobs, that they pay to go out and do it, and the extremely wealthy that fund it. The guys like me and you in the middle that have to get up every day and work, you're not going to find very many liberals like that. You'll find a few. But I tell you what, when you find the quote-unquote liberals around here that work in the middle, me and you have a lot more in common with them than we do with a lot of other people. So I just don't understand it for the life of me, and it worries me that stuff is, going to weed its way this way sooner or later.
Potentially, for sure.
Well, I just, I look at them. I literally watch them throw stuff through the windshields of cars. I watched these law enforcement vehicles set with people in, set. And I'm thinking to myself, I believe I'm a patient man, and I believe that, I try my best to be a godly man and a good Christian man. I do. I fail hourly.
Yes.
But, and I would say that, and I've said many times, it's easy for me to sit here and run my mouth when I talk about the death penalty. Oh, yeah, give it to them. But if they made me pull the lever, I might think differently. And I'm thinking the same thing. If I was a police officer, and they're out there and I'm sitting there blocking me, for a while, I'd be the Gentile type. I'd be like, okay. But after a little while, I got a feeling I'm going to drive. And I'm not going to say run them over, but move them out of the way. And I don't know. I can foresee there's coming a time where we're going to end up with, I'm not going to say civil war, but you're going to end up with the police officers are going to have to start moving people out of their way to do their job, or at least ICE is. It's going to get violent. I mean, Tom Holman said it a million times. You guys keep doing this, somebody's going to get hurt. And I think we are.
Yeah.
But anyway, as the representative of all the sheriffs in the state, does the Sheriff's Association have an opinion on ICE? Because in Memphis and Nashville, aren't they don't work with ICE?
Yeah, no, the Sheriff's Association has a body, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're supportive of ICE.
Good.
Because it's
what happens if the sheriff of Memphis decides he's not going to work with them? Can you throw him out?
No, we can't. So I know Sheriff Bonner, Shelby County Sheriff.
Sure.
And he just gave us an update in October, or this past meeting, about what he's experiencing, because there's a flood of federal things happening down there.
Governor Lee was asking the president to bring in troops.
Yeah, so he was talking about the challenges, right? So what's amazing is like he talked about how the ICE and some federal folks come through and toured the Shelby County Jail, right? They held 2,400. Their jail does. That's just shocking to me.
That is shocking.
Right? It's huge.
It's 6 times bigger than ours, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're at
400?
No, we're at 5.
Oh, wow.
63 now. We got Unit 1 open. But now, part of that's our work release.
Gotcha. Well, still.
It just opened up the beds.
I got you.
60 beds, but there's only 7 people in there.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
But it's minimum security. But anyway, so Sheriff Bonner was talking about what he's experienced. So they come down and look. And, of course, he's busting out the seams down there, right?
Yeah.
Before you start making ICE arrest. On that given day, he had over 300 people in booking, right?
And 2,400 in jail?
Yeah, and he had nowhere to put them. They were over 2,400.
Oh, right? Wow, yeah.
So, I mean, that's just, he had 2,400 beds. So the state has, because of the pressure being put down by the federal government to get Memphis specifically, that's where the problem is. And, of course, you go outside of Memphis, it impacts Shelby County and neighboring counties and cities. But basically, the state is trying to help them lower their population in preparation for these ICE arrests, right? So the thing that Russell Barker, found ironic is I'm hearing these struggles and these financial issues. Of course, he's down. We're down currently, in our corrections staff, we are down 4 people.
Okay.
Okay.
So you need 4 people.
I need 4. I have 4 openings in corrections, right? Which is a fabulous number.
Yes, because you've been in double digits here before, yeah.
And he's down 400 probably. I mean, that's no exaggeration. It's well over 100.
Wow.
Yeah. And I can see why.
Because people don't want to be police officers in Memphis.
Shelby County is a violent
Exactly.
place.
That's why they're sending the National Guard.
And so when I sit there listening to him, he was talking about just the financial struggles and all this, and I'm thinking, man, this environment that these liberal Memphis politicians have created they've created this environment.
They've created the problem and now dumped it on us, and we're dealing, or him, and he's dealing with it.
So they've got these liberal policies where you treat them like the lawbreakers like butterflies, right? And so you've had that going on for decades down there, and it's hurt them. I mean for example, we were talking about the summer conference, right? Hey, it's always held in Sevier County, and I didn't realize it really woke me up. I didn't realize, we're huge Smokies and tourism. I took it for granted growing up.
The biggest park in the world.
Yeah. But I took it for granted because I was so close.
We all have.
And then of course you got some things to do in Nashville, but the family conference was always up here because of all of the things to do.
Yeah.
Well, so we were talking about it, and some of the West Tennessee guys go, man, that's so far to drive. I said, well, let's move it to West Tennessee this year. And they're like, there's nowhere to have it in West Tennessee. There's got to be something. And they go, no. Nobody wants to come here. So,
when my son wanted to see the Memphis Grizzlies, I waited till they went to Charlotte, and you saw what happened in Charlotte recently on that. So, I mean, I thought, well, maybe I went from bad to worse instead of going to Memphis, going to Charlotte. But still, that's why I didn't take him to Memphis.
Yeah. But they've created these, and then on top of that, our previous president and his administration opened up these borders like he did. And now here we are.
Let me ask you this:
secure these things.
When you look at that, and you're just sitting back going, there's these policies, and these policies have created an environment that have benefited criminals for the most part. All right, so you've got guys like you in Shelby County, police officers. I mean, they became police officers because they wanted to do good. I don't think they went in there and said, hey, let's undermine all the Constitution. And you know what I mean? Right. They went in there to do well, to do good. And now they're put in a position. How did we get to a point that you've got like sheriffs and law enforcement buying into some of this liberal stuff when they see what it's doing? I mean, he's got 400 people he can't, you know what I mean, that he can't put in jail.
Let me say this. Sheriff Bonner,
isn't
he ain't liberal.
Good. How did he get to be sheriff of Shelby County?
He run as a Democrat.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean,
so he's like some of our politicians. He's down there pretending to be a Democrat to get elected, like they're pretending to be Republicans.
Yes,
yes. Got it. Cool.
No, trust me, he's
spot on.
He's legit.
Okay, good.
But
is he hamstrung by legislation and local folks?
100%. So he actually ran for mayor because he thought, okay,
if I can't do it as sheriff, maybe I can as mayor.
He didn't win.
Wow.
And he's term limited out as sheriff, right?
Yeah.
So they've got a guy that they're trying to get going. But he openly talks about the problems, and he calls a spade a spade.
Is he part of why our governor asked the president to send the guard down?
Oh,
the sheriff?
Potentially.
He would. You think he'd welcome that?
Yeah. I mean, the problem that Sheriff Bonner's having is real world problems. It's not that National Guard's coming. It's not ICE is doing whatever they're doing.
It's people killing people and hurting stuff and just meanness.
But he's got problems of, where do I put these people? How am I going to pay for this out of my budget? County commission.
How does he do that? What does he do? And you're saying they're preparing for an influx of ICE. How are they preparing? By letting maybe lesser criminals out early? How do you quote unquote prepare besides building a bigger jail?
Well, that's part of it.
Are they building a bigger jail?
They're looking at it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he said that it was recommended that Shelby County build a new jail or a bigger jail. All right. Yeah. And so but how they're doing it is the state now has said, okay, in order to participate and be a partner in this, they are basically, Shelby County is getting priority for bed space, right? Yeah. So if you have a state inmate there, they're going to snatch them, take them where they'll leave them with me, because we're out here in Anderson County, because Shelby County needs the bed space for the influx of what's coming, right? Sure. So no, don't get me wrong. Sheriff Bonner is, I promise you, he gets, he's the, I don't know what the Democrats call their guys that are too conservative.
Blue dog
love
Democrats.
To say rhino, right?
Yeah.
Well,
he's a Democrat.
I'm sure he gets beat up constantly because he's a law and order guy.
Gotcha.
Right? And but you have to operate in that environment, and that's why any kind of local politics, at least, it's easy on the national stage to be super far right, super far left, but it's a lot tougher locally.
Sure.
You have to get things done. Compromise is a huge part of government.
Sure.
That's
why our government's shut down right now from the lack of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's funny you say that. I ran into Congressman Flashman, a couple of his staff members. They're not getting paid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oof.
Well, the congressman is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The congressman is.
Yeah.
Which I think is the height of hypocrisy. Not only do I think they shouldn't get paid, I think they should be fined every day, all of them, that the government's not open. I think if they fined them $10,000 a day, it'd be open by 2:30 this afternoon. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
And if I was Donald Trump, I'd be screaming it from the top of the mountain. I'd want legislation, and I'd do it 51. I'd go. You don't want to know what I'd do. I'd do the nuclear. I'd go 51 votes and get stuff done and be done with it. I wouldn't worry about the next administration. I'd clean stuff up now, because they don't make a lot of changes, because they say, well, someday they're going to be in power and they'll unwind it. Well, let them unwind it.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyway, I digress.
Well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
When there's a change in the seat. You take it a different direction.
Yeah. But I mean, the lack of negotiation and compromise that you say you have to be an official to get stuff done seems to sometimes get lost in the in the boldness of the crowd, or the momentum of a left wing or whatever. You know what I mean? It seems like sometimes people see what's happening out there, and they legislate toward the squeaky wheel. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Particularly federally. Yeah. You're 100% right.
Well, then,
I mean, look, what makes news is the far right and the far left. That's just it.
We middle guys.
It's the guy that wants to put the guy on the far right that wants no gun laws at all, and he wants to put anybody that doesn't agree with him. Let's find new land to do new reservations.
Exactly.
Except this time we'll put liberals on it, or we'll put whoever.
Yeah.
Right. And then the far left is just the opposite.
Nobody has guns.
Yeah, nobody gets guns, and we can change their gender.
Yeah.
So I mean, like
somewhere between there lies the truth.
That's what we hear. Nobody's reporting. Hey, Ron likes his guns, but he doesn't believe that 16-year-olds should have ARs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
who does?
Sexy.
Yeah, I mean, there's no news line about that.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, so that's it, and it's just. I don't know.
What do you think about troops going into some of these cities? The president saying, "Hey, I'm sending troops." Even so much like the governor of Illinois saying, "I don't want them," and the mayor of Chicago, "I don't want them," and the president was like, "You're losing 500 people, getting killed in these murders, and if you aren't going to stop it, I am." Where do you stand on that?
So, that's the topic at my house. Right.
What would you do if they called and said, "Russell, we're coming"?
My 19-year-old. Well, my 19-year-old, she's over there at the Baker School of Public Policy.
So you're getting all the public policy.
Yeah. So she's listening to everything. That's a tough question. Okay, in the sense of one, I cannot fathom losing control to the point I would need troops.
Sure.
That's just really how I feel about it, right? However, we're seeing these more liberal cities
have,
right? So
they've either relinquished control or it's been taken from them. One of the two.
Yeah, 100%. So if I were in their shoes, I would welcome it. Now, Governor Lee picks up the phone, calls me today, says, "Sheriff Barker, we're sending 500 National Guard to help you with Anderson County." I go, "With what?
For what?
You got a big parade, need extra traffic control I'm unaware of?" I mean, I would completely put my foot down right now. But if I had
400 people without beds and more coming in and being arrested every day and people lighting the cars on fire out here.
Yeah, bring me some help.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just beyond me how you get to that point, because we've talked about it here before when we do these, the broken windows theory.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old as Methuselah, but it is so good. It's a good base. You take care of the small problems and they don't become big problems.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm telling you, I remember when I was on patrol with City of Clinton, you don't have to write a bunch of tickets, but you make a lot of traffic stops.
Yeah.
Why? So as the criminals cut through town saying, "Let's break in something," they're like, "Man, they got people pulled over everywhere. Let's go see what's happening in Oak Ridge."
Mm-hmm. No,
So, I mean, that's legit.
I agree it's legit. You want lights going all the time. You want people to see the presence of the police because it detours crime, period. It's a proven fact.
Yes.
And so I don't know why they don't want law enforcement in one way, shape, form, or fashion, because it's just like, it's like a "you're not welcome" sign, and they move on to the next place. Yeah. Which is what we want. I mean, I don't want anybody to have crime, but I sure don't want Clinton and Anderson County to have it.
Yeah. No. So I remember when I was first sheriff, we saw an increase in crime in the Claxton community.
Okay.
Right?
Mostly theft?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were like, "What in the world's going on here? Why are we seeing a spike in that community?" And so we were trying to figure it out, right? We were changing our patrol patterns and looking at some things we were doing. I'm sitting in on a meeting with the 7th Judicial Crime Task Force, our board.
Yeah.
And it's twofold. The first part is kind of all the police chiefs and the sheriff and the district attorney, and we talk about what we're seeing in crime trends and all this, right?
Yeah.
And then the second half of the meeting, we roll into the 7th Judicial's business, right? But anyway, we're sitting there, and I'm listening to everybody go around the room, gets to Chief Smith. He starts talking about, yeah, we've been doing this very deliberate thing to hammer this particular area of Oak Ridge to get rid of crime.
Ran them from Oak Ridge to Claxton.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, they dispersed. They dispersed it, and they came across. They just got out of the city of Oak Ridge because it was too hot. And just came across the city limits.
Yeah,
and ended up in Claxton. I'm like, oh, we're about to send them back. So
okay.
I mean, but yeah. So I mean, that's real. That happens,
and it works though, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So we concentrate on squeezing them on across Salway Bridge, run them into Knox.
See ya.
Yeah. And that is, and that's an important part of police work, and why you've got to have communication with these municipalities as the sheriff, but more importantly, you displace it, right? It's the same thing with homelessness, right? And this can be touchy sometimes, but the truth of it is, if you don't enforce, particularly for cities, because that's where you see it, right? We have some in the county, but vast majority, Rocky Top, a little bit in Clinton, a little bit in Oak Ridge. Whatever your city ordinances are on the books, you enforce those.
Yeah.
You make it an uncomfortable place to be. And there's a lot of good people out there with pure hearts that are, a lot of church organizations that are trying to help these folks. And I get that. I really do. But to some degree, it enables them.
Yeah.
And it makes it comfortable for them to stay. And I know people are conflicted about that in the sense
trying
that,
to do good, but at the same time helping to foster them to do.
But if, whether it be mental health illness, addiction, whatever has put them on this path, the church wants to help them, or any organization wants to help them get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that. But now, if I own WYSH and they're camped out my front door because you feed them at the end of my driveway, that ain't working.
Yeah,
I mean, so
that's a fine line to walk, isn't it?
It's difficult. It's difficult. And of course,
what's the story of your life between enforcing the law and rehabilitation? You know what I mean? Because that's kind of what we're talking about: kindness, rehabilitation, versus reprimand and penalties and punishment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's become the story of law enforcement. You're not just there to pick up, incarcerate, and punish anymore. You're there to doctor, feed. I mean,
yeah,
to be the psychiatrist, psychologist, social worker, all that stuff. Let me ask you about this. You mentioned when the previous administration opened the border, and it brought something to mind. We haven't seen anything here, but who knows? In South Carolina, was it yesterday? South Carolina, they found a person there that was part of the October 7th Hamas invasion of Israel in South Carolina, hiding in South Carolina yesterday. Crossed our border illegally. After all that happened to hide, they busted him.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, they caught him yesterday in South Carolina. And it just brought to light to me, and maybe hopefully for others, having those borders open like we did, there's absolutely no telling. If somebody like that, such a horrific crime that the whole world saw, paid attention to and had an opinion on, people were like either pro-Israel or not, but everybody had an opinion. Everybody weighed in, and then all of a sudden a guy can just kind of slip out from over there in Gaza and end up in South Carolina under the radar for 2 years after going out of there, raping kids, killing people, and walks across our border and hanging out in South Carolina. What kind of, again, you might not be able to speak to it in Anderson County, but what kind of extra burden has that put on us as law enforcement?
I don't know, but I can tell you this. If he's here, you have to wonder about terrorist organizations.
Go to a low level. Somebody that hadn't blown anything up yet, but they want to.
Yeah. And so many people get radicalized online now.
Yeah.
And it's, I've just never understood the problem with securing the border, right? I'm not even talking politics, right? It doesn't.
The people that want the border open have locks on their front door. I promise you.
Yeah. And
every single one of them.
Or fences.
Yeah.
It may not, quote, keep people out, but
you can detour.
You can't. You got to open the gate to get in their yard.
You got to work at it a little bit.
So it's I don't know. It's insanity, and I know from my trip with Senator Haggerty down there, because we heard ICE tell us, they came in and talked to us about it. The perception for a lot of people, myself included, to an extent, right now, I had some access to some reports from the federal government that most people don't have, the general public doesn't have. But your rank and file people believe, now look, these are just people from Mexico trying to come across to have a better life. Yes, there was some of that.
Absolutely, there is. There always has been.
Yeah. But what I learned on that trip was, one, even if it's still the majority, they're being victimized on the Mexican side by the cartels.
Yeah.
Some of them don't make it here to have a better life because they're not just dying, they're basically sold into trafficking, particularly the females. And the mental, physical, and financial price they pay, it's not worth it. I mean, apply and come in legally. More importantly, you have what I learned. It is not just Mexico. It's Central America, South America. I can't remember the numbers, so this could be wrong, but I think they recognize like 195 different countries.
Okay.
That sounds high. But they had, back then when I went, they had identified and or had contact with people from 145 different countries.
That had come across.
They're coming from all around the world.
China.
Yeah, all around the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of them ain't our friends.
No, and that's why I think it makes your job that much. How do you deal, okay, you pick up somebody from Uganda that snuck in over here. They don't have the same rights as we do, but do you have to afford them that?
You know what? That's my opinion.
I don't have to read you your rights. You're not even an American citizen.
So okay, so if you'll remember, when Guantanamo Bay, that was one of the big things people were raising Cain about because they didn't read them Miranda or they were charging them in criminal court. Like some of the terrorists in New York were charged in state court or federal court, and they got the right to an attorney. Bull crap.
Yeah, they don't have a right to an attorney.
That's for American citizens.
Yeah.
Okay, so to answer your question, we would read him Miranda.
Yeah.
But
cover your bases.
Well, look, here's just the truth, and I don't understand this, and I haven't put a lot of thought into it because you're right. So some guy is here illegally from whatever country. I don't care if he's not committing crime, but he's working, right? I don't know. Maybe he's getting paid under the table to do some kind of manual labor. Okay. Yeah. He gets a DUI.
Yeah.
They'll give him a public defender.
They'll give him a public defender.
Yeah, guarantee it. And then we got to bring in translators.
So when that happens, why don't you just pick the phone up and call ICE and say, come get your stuff. This is not my deal. This is your deal. You can drive them down to Memphis and put them in the ICE detainer down there, but, you know.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. So, all right. So,
I don't. That's right. I think that.
What is the logic behind that? You know what I'm saying?
According to our Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and all the rest, I mean, it's for Americans. It's for us. It's for American citizens. So I don't know. You know, if you come over here, you get a green card, you go through the appropriate, you're still not a citizen, but you're abiding by the laws. And at that point, maybe we afford you protection and rights because you're going through the process the way you're supposed to. And you're over here, you're in our country. You're licensed, registered, whatever you want to call it, to be in our country. I'm okay with having some of those protections for those people. But when you break into the country, you're starting off on the wrong foot anyway. And I know there are good people that do it, but I don't know. I think if we didn't afford them all that stuff, all the free stuff, if we didn't give them, food stamps and Medicare and pay for their emergency room visit, if we didn't do that, a lot would come in the correct way so as to get it, as opposed to just walking across to get it.
So I think I've shared this story with you before about my friend who went to Australia.
Maybe.
Okay. So his sister was going on a mission trip to Australia.
Okay.
And at the last minute, somebody couldn't go. And so she calls him and says, hey, you're the only guy I know with a passport. He's 18. Will you go on this mission trip? He says, yeah. So he goes over there. Well, he calls his parents. That's his sister that was doing this, right? Mm-hmm. The whole family was involved in this. He calls his parents and says, hey, don't worry about picking me up at the airport tomorrow. I'm not coming back. And they go, can you do that? And he goes, yeah. So he
stays in Australia.
He waits tables at 18 and does a lot of surfing, right?
There you go.
And then he told me, he said, it got less fun. He said, because they take it very seriously in Australia when you come there.
Citizenship.
Yeah. And you overstay what you say you're going to do, right? He said, so I had to move further inland, which made surfing less accessible, which I was like, it's lost kind of some of its zing. And he told me, I'm 18. He said, about 2 months into it, two guys show up and say, are you so-and-so? And he goes, yeah. And they go, come on, we got a plane waiting on you. You're out here. He said, I never went for a judge. He goes, they just showed me some credentials, snatched me up, took me to the airport. He goes, we sat around for a little bit waiting on this flight. He goes, they put me on it and said, see ya.
I like it.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was an amazing story, but I was more impressed that an 18-year-old had that kind of stones to do that. But yeah.
Stay in Australia. Yeah, me too. But still, I think that's the way it ought to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew he was overstaying his welcome.
Yeah, he did, 100%. He just dumb kid won't surf.
Well, sure. Who wouldn't?
He had to do mission work, so he didn't get to surf near as much.
Yeah, so after the mission work was done, he reaping what he sowed. Some good waves. I love it. Well, I don't understand why people would get upset if we did that. But boy, if you did that here, if you just picked somebody up and took them to the airport and said you're on a plane, they'd hang you by your ears, Russell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'd make you out to be the worst person in the world when all you're doing is the law.
So, to that point.
I'd do it anyway.
To that point, I can tell you this. I can think of at least one, maybe two, where we've had a guy, when I was with the city of Clinton, we had a guy come to Clinton and was absolutely wreaking havoc. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew him from law enforcement. and we finally make contact with him, identify him. He's from Atlanta, and he's got warrants.
Gotcha.
All right. We called Georgia and said, we got your guy. And they said, yeah, we are not going to extradite from Tennessee. In-state only. So we had to turn him loose, right?
Drive him across the state line?
He keeps doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually, Rick Scarborough says, go find him, lay hands on him, and we will drive him to Atlanta. And that's what we did.
Oh, good.
We went and got him, and he had no charges here. And so we just snatched him and said, hey, you got a warrant on you in Georgia.
See ya.
We never laid eyes on the guy again.
Good.
And that's no different than what we're discussing.
No, you're just like you delivered him back to Atlanta, where he's supposed to be. We can deliver him back to Guadalajara or wherever they're supposed to be. I don't see a difference in that. But again,
I can promise you nobody complained about that one.
Yeah.
The Atlanta story.
Yeah, but if again, we've had people that have shot police officers and everything else. You got a kid right now in jail in New York City that shot an insurance agent in the back of the head that's got fan clubs. These people, they worship, they think that these, I don't know, they if you did that with an illegal person right now, you would be made to be the villain. If you took them to an airplane right now, put them on a plane, sent them back to Mexico as Russell Barker, Sheriff of Anderson County, they'd have you brought up on everything you could bring up. He didn't get trial. He didn't get his rights. He didn't.
Yeah.
So he don't have rights. He's not a citizen. Anyway, that's. I think I've made my notes. I think I've asked you better. I hate dragging you into the national politics because it's national and we don't deal with it as much here. But I think it's a little more relevant too because you're serving as the head of the state sheriff's department in the state, and we do deal with it in this state. We do deal with it in certainly Memphis and in Davidson County, and sooner or later. I mean, you're going to run across people that are illegal here. I know they're here. You know they're here, and you're going to run into them, and you have to deal with them. Do you call ICE? We've talked about this before. You bring them in, you book them, and then you notify ICE.
Yeah, so we're not actively seeking.
No, you're not out looking for somebody without a.
Now we have a segment of our community that wishes we were. Right?
Oh, I'm sure.
I've taken the calls. Mm-hmm. Just like we have a segment of the community that
wishes you wouldn't.
Yeah, leave them alone. All right. So, yeah, I mean, basically to be on our radar, and honestly, and I think that's one of the things people erroneously believe is you can, if you're here illegal and you get a PI, ICE isn't necessarily coming to snatch you.
Sure.
They're worried about other people right now.
They're more worried about the terrorists and the other people.
And I'm really not buying, and I need to be quiet, but I'm not really buying these stories about they ripped the
baby out of
mama's arms because the only thing she was doing was being a maid.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I think if it's happened a couple times, and everybody's focusing on that.
Sure. They've got bigger fish to fry.
100%.
And they're, I think a lot of people that say just let them come in do not understand who came in. Right. I mean, ask the parents of the young lady that was jogging in Georgia who came in. She's dead.
Yeah.
I guarantee you if they were liberal before, they're not anymore about letting people cross the border. Guarantee it. One of
the things too is it's just if it ain't happening to you, it's easy to take these stances.
Oh, I've said before, and I believe this wholeheartedly, Russell, and you're a man that's going to be put in these positions as a law enforcement officer. Like I said, it's easy for me to sit here and bark. I can sit here and talk about it. I'd throw them out. I'd do this. I'd pull the switch on the death penalty until you have to do it. And I've even thought about it. When the Lord looks down, I don't know that he sees country lines. I don't. But I know that we are to respect those that are in authority above us. That's biblical.
Romans. Yeah.
And when those in authority above us set these rules for our well-being, I think we're supposed to follow those rules for our well-being, which means you come in correctly.
So, ironically, to your point, and I have experienced it as the sheriff on both sides.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
I have people who don't want us enforcing things that are clearly illegal because it appears to be racist or bigoted in some form or fashion. And then from the right, I got people wanting me to make arrests, library books.
Well, see, you just close your eyes, though, and the law is the law. Because you sat down you said Russell, the person, is opposed to library books.
Yeah.
But Russell, the sheriff, had to go by the letter of the law. And Russell, the sheriff, said, I can't stretch this to be illegal.
So,
but that's the way it's supposed to be. But when it is illegal,
yeah.
Even if they're a church leader, if they're here illegal, you take the pastor and send him back to Mexico.
So, and you talked about it's easy for you to say this until you have to do it. Well, I'm the one that gets sued.
Yeah, I know, and you're the one that has to deal with your conscience of what you do or don't do.
Yeah.
If you leave them, if you lied on them and you leave them, you just put them in here and they get out and 11:29 to go kill somebody and they're illegal and you've been lied on them, then that's going to bear on you. If you load them up and send them home and they're the dad of 3 kids that are still here, that's going to wear on you. I just don't understand why people don't. It's just the law. And if they don't like the law, call Chuck Fleischman. Call Tim Burgess. Say change the law to let everybody in. Because if they don't change the law, you, ICE, we all need to obey and abide by that which, we're a country of laws. That's all that separates us. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I got it going.
Is there anything you want people to know besides me running my mouth? Halloween's coming up. Be safe.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. And I appreciate you having me. If you guys need anything, let us know.
All right. Had no idea what time it was. Yeah. All right, guys. It's 10 minutes till noon. It's Ask Your Neighbor. Sheriff Russell Barker comes on the 3rd Wednesday of the month, unless he or I have obligations that we got to do. But I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate you making time for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12, or listen live online at WYSH.